All right, here we go. This one's going to be a 357 SIG test. Today we have a couple Speer Gold Dots to try out. So it's going to be an old versus new. So the one on the left is 125 grain Gold Dot. Super old box. Found this at one of my local shops, so had to pick it up. Does have your standard brass case on that one. And I believe that one's rated at 1,350 feet per second. And the one on the right is their newer production. That one is a 5-pedal Gold Dot. That one does have your brass case on it and also 125 grain. I believe that one is also rated at 1,350 feet per second. So we'll be going out of our Glock 31. That is a full-size 4.5-inch barrel. And through that gel, that is a 10% block. We do have our catch block behind that, so a total of 25 inches of gel. Our 4 layers of contusion on the front. And like always, we'll set up our chronograph so we can hopefully pick up those impact velocities. So let's set up and see how these rounds do. First one up will be that older Gold Dot. All right, we're stepping back to 15 feet. All right, let's see how we did on that one. All right, so our impact velocity on that one was 1,427 feet per second. So that one was a really old box. So that's when they definitely loaded it, you know, like they're supposed to, pretty proper. So not too bad at all. All right, so here's that impact. We hit it right where we were trying to. And looks like a nice entry so far. You can see right down in that hole and a really good star pattern so far. So let's check it out from the top. Oh yeah, check that thing out. Looks like we got a nice stretch on that one so far. And we did make it into that second block. Looks like it carried most of that energy all the way through, and quite a bit of penetration actually, so pretty surprising. So let's see what kind of measurement we have on that. So from our widest spot, we are at 2 3/4 inches, so not too bad at all. So let's check it out from the side. Oh yeah, hopefully you guys can see this. It looks like a really good stretch cavity so far. So basically it looks like as soon as it came in, it started opening up really nicely, dumping a ton of that energy. It looks like it carried pretty much all the way through. Maybe that last half inch or so, it started to flatline a little bit. And then we did make it into that second block, but not too bad at all. So let's see if we can get an accurate measurement from the side. And we are at pretty much the same, 2 3/4 from the side. So really good. And then let's see, you can see that round resting down in there. Like I said, quite a bit of penetration. So we'll measure it from our leading edge. And we are at about 4 1/4. So that's 15 1/4 inches of penetration. So really not too bad at all. Pretty impressive for that. And it's really good to see those numbers coming from that round too. So let's set up and see how that new one does. All right, we're stepping back to 15 feet. All right, let's see how we did on that one. So it looks like our impact velocity on that one was 1,425 feet per second. So man, that's super close. Like Paul Harrell always says, not enough difference to make a difference. 2 feet per second, That is super impressive on that. So it's really awesome to see that those ones are loaded, you know, pretty identical there. So there is our entry hole on that one. Looks like we got a nice good hit on that one also. Same thing on this. You can see right down in that cavity, and nice big star pattern on that. So with those velocities, really shouldn't see too much different in damage. Check that out. Really nice stretch cavity going all the way through. Really good spiral cuts. And same thing with this one. We did make it all the way through into that second block. It doesn't look like we got as much penetration on that one, but definitely a pretty good stretch cavity. So let's check the measurements on that. See if we can get a decently accurate one out here. That one's identical, 2 3/4 right on the dot. So really good to see. So let's check it out from the side. Oh yeah, that one looks really good also. So it looks like as soon as this one hit, started opening up really nicely, and this one has some really distinct spiral cuts going all the way through, and pretty much same as that last one, carried all the way through to about maybe that last 1/4 to 1/2 inch, and then did start to flatline a little bit, and then we did make it into that second block. But awesome stretch cavity on that one. So let's see if we can get a measurement from this side, and pretty much identical, 2 3/4. So good stuff right there. And then you can see it resting down in that block. It looks like it did mushroom out really nicely. So at a leading edge, let's kind of scoot this one back so we can get a little bit better view. So we are at 2.5 inches, so 13.5 inches of penetration on that one. So definitely not as much, but man, that's really not too much of a difference. It's awesome to see those numbers on both of those also. So let's check it out one more time from the top. So the one on the right is that older technology, one on the left is that newer one. So it looks like we got some pretty identical stretch cavities on those, going all the way through. Nice spiral cuts, and then there those rounds are just resting in that block. So here is that older one. See, it came in, opened up really nice, dumping quite a bit of energy right there at the beginning, and carrying it through for most of that block. And then it is that round right there on the top. And for our newer 5 pedal, same thing with that one. Came in, opened up, nice energy dump going all the way through, super clean cuts. And same thing with that, settling down just a little bit, and then that one is resting down in that block right there on the top. So we're gonna pull both these rounds and see how they look. All right, check those things out. They both got some awesome expansion. You really can't tell too much of a difference on those ones, but man, they mushroomed out really, really nicely. So the one on the right was that older box, the one on the left is that newer box. So check that out, man. Those are really cool. So that one mushroomed out really nicely. Little tiny gold dot down in there, but got some major expansion on that. It does look like those pedals did let go a little bit from that lead, so almost like the Ranger T-talons kind of sticking out there. But awesome expansion. There's still quite a bit of gel that's stuck down in there, so we will rinse that out here in a bit. But man, check that out. We got some awesome expansion on that, and 1,427 feet per second is moving, so really good to see there. And here is that newer one. You can definitely tell a little bit of a difference. That one does have a little bit bigger gold dot down in the center of that. And then same thing with this one, pretty major expansion, nice uniform expansion on this one. Same as that last one, we do have quite a bit of gel down in there. We'll rinse that out. But man, we got some really nice expansion for both. So either or, I'd pick either one of them. So it's really cool to actually find that older box. There was only a couple loose rounds in there, but I figured had to pick it up to get some testing done. But there we go. So the one on the right was that older one. One on the left was that newer one. They both have the same skew and everything on them. There they are from the bottom. And one more time from the top. And like always, we'll get our still shots and slow-mos and all that good stuff here at the end. But there we go. Old versus new. Thanks for watching, guys. All right, here's that cross section for that first gold dot. Got some nice big splits going on, really uniform. Same thing on this side, really wide, deep splits. And I did remeasure these at some of its widest points, and we're right at 3 1/4 inches. So quite a bit of damage so far. So really good to see there. So let's cut it open. All right, and here's after being cut. So this bottom is the right, this top is the left side. So you can see basically as soon as that thing came in, about 1/4 inch, it started to open up and start doing all kinds of damage. You got some really big splits going on. It doesn't look like it drug in too much of that cotton t-shirt. It did have a really shallow hollow point cavity, so kind of expected there, but we do have a huge stretch going on and a ton of damage. And these gold dots usually leave some really clean cuts also. And same on this top, came in, opened up. You can see where that stretch is going through. There's a little bit of cotton t-shirt in this side, a little bit more than the last side, and same thing with this one. Got some really deep, nasty looking cuts throughout there. And that thing was moving out pretty good. 1,427 feet per second is no joke for that. So really good to see that that thing is, you know, rated almost what it's supposed to be, or you know, it's 1450 for the original specs. So really good. So there was that old school gold dot. All right, and here's that cross section for that second one. Same thing with this one. You got some really nice big splits on this. You can see a little bit of that cotton t-shirt down in this one, and same here, nice big splits. And I did remeasure these at their widest points, and they're pretty much exactly the same, right at 3 1/4 inches. So really good to see how consistent those gold dots are, even with that newer technology, that way that that bullet was designed. And same thing, it was moving at 1,425 feet per second, so moving out pretty good. So let's cut it open. All right, and here's after being cut. This bottom is the right side, this top is the left. So same thing with this one. As soon as this one hit, it opened up really nice. You can see a nice stretch cavity going all throughout. But we got some major damage going on in this one. Really good to see there. You can see a couple of black chunks. That's just the cotton t-shirt that I used, and I use a Sharpie to mark, you know, the dot, and I actually hit the dot. So that's all that is. But really good to see there. Huge deep splits, really clean cuts also. Like I said, those gold dots do leave some pretty clean cuts. And same here on this top side, you can see it came in, same thing, nice big stretch going on, and quite a bit of damage there. It's a jumbled mess in there, with some really clean cuts. Those gold dots are always fun to test, and we had to see how that one was going to do against you know, that old school gold dot, or how they used to make them when they originally came out. But there we go. That was old versus new 357 sig Speer Gold Dot.